Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy.
I'm Cable.
I'm Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
And for today's episode, we'll be discussing media we want to see put into live action. I'll be starting off the discussion. So the first one I was actually thinking about not too long ago was Cyber 6.
Ooh.
Which, nowadays, I think that would be an interesting one because of, let alone what we are now accepting in, I guess, today's times.
Yeah.
Like action-wise and I feel like visual-wise, we could accomplish a lot with it.
Oh,
too.
for sure. You and I were speaking about this for like a whole week beforehand.
Yeah.
And this like just like the missed opportunity that it never got a chance to continue into a second season. And I was there to see the finale of it, which was pretty epic. So great pull, because I'd like to see that live action for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking about it like just actually I think a couple days ago, and I was like, this would be doable technically. If anything, the only thing I was like really pulling from action wise or how it was filmed would be like a little bit of Punisher or Daredevil, kind of like Marvel style.
Yeah,
but action wise or visual effects, it would have to be like maybe something else or a different house, media house that could pull off like, what is it, her pet, the Jaguar.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But anything like that, yeah, like otherwise I think it would be doable. Like it'd be something to be seen.
Question. So who'd you want as that role?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Oh, that is a good question.
Right?
I haven't thought this deep into it.
Oh, we'll
I got
come
another
back.
question.
Yeah.
The Panther, are we doing it like Disney's CGI live action?
That'd be cool.
Or are
I
we
mean-
doing like, some other Cats live action?
Oh no.
We should not do Cats live action.
No.
We don't speak that here. No.
Ooh.
Even James Corden doesn't even talk about that.
No, he does. He just shits on his effects team.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, correct.
That's true. That's very true. I honestly think it could go to the ways of like either the Disney aspect of it, or I'm trying to think some other series that had like live action like animals.
You know what? To be honest with you, though, that Disney would probably be the best bet to go to, because like their house studios making everything look pretty real.
Yeah, in Reboot,
nowadays.
they did a dinosaur.
Yeah, right. Like, and I don't know if you've seen Lion King or Jungle Book, but they look pretty impressive.
Yeah. If not, the other team I was thinking of was whoever did what do you call it? Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn movie, and their pet.
The hyenas.
Yeah, because that was actually for the longest time I thought it was a hyena the whole time, or some really trained animal, and it was just a dog, but they visually like textured it and made it look like a hyena. So
Pretty cool.
if you're able to work with it and do something around it, then whatever works, right?
Okay.
If you have anything to add on or to mention, table.
Yeah. No, I've got a couple things.
Sorry.
See, I'm mostly thinking those sweet nostalgia points in terms of bringing things up into a live action version. I would honestly love to see some sort of live action attempt at Danny Phantom.
Hey, I'd like that too. That'd be dope.
Because we've got the technology to do the fun visuals.
Yeah.
And, we now know how to make child actors not suck. So you wouldn't have to have a 21-year-old man pretending to be a 14-year-old Danny Phantom.
In your eyes, who would be Danny Phantom?
Oh, I have no idea. If you think I know actor names, you are barking up the wrong tree.
No problem.
Yo, I'm sorry to say, but like had the I don't remember his name, but it was the Disney star actor that young boy that passed away a while ago.
I know who you're talking about. The one
I can't pull his name, but
Cameron.
anyway, Cameron, what's his face? If he had been around long enough for that project to get greenlit,
right,
it would have been green lit.
Okay.
Mostly because the aesthetic is, and I really want to see a movie because most posters are like blue and orange.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing
that's on like a poster as this bright neon green.
Mm-hmm.
Green and purple.
Yeah.
But you know why Danny Phantom would work now? It's because superheroes are in, and you don't have many children heroes on screen, and this is why Spidey works really well. And Phantom, Danny Phantom would really blow up like that.
Yeah, I don't think they could afford to do a full show or anything. But, a movie of, you couldn't pull The Ultimate Enemy. That's too complicated and requires too much backstory.
Right.
But something simple. Maybe like,
the Box Ghost.
Not the Box Ghost. I was thinking the plant guy, Undergrowth.
Yep. Okay.
Because that was a great storyline.
Right on.
Every storyline.
You know what? It's sort of say like Danny Phantom would be big enough to like garner sequels, right? So like the world's not limited.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Or it might just be big enough to be successful and everybody leaves it alone.
True, which I just like a standalone,
That'd be cool and be like, yeah, we made a movie. It
and
made
then that's it.
a kabillion dollars,
Right.
and then we moved on.
One
think it's doable.
standalone, greatest movie of all time, superhero movie, Danny Phantom.
Red, you got anything?
Yeah. I've got Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Again, let's try this again, but good this time.
Yes.
Man, sure would be great to
No,
see
it
that
didn't
in
happen.
live action. But, it's never been a thing, and it probably never will be, which is a shame.
Right. The only thing that it's got going for it, and I don't know if everybody's going to give me this, but because it's already in development in live action with the original creative team
Yeah.
of Netflix,
Yeah.
my wish is going to come true really soon.
Yeah.
And by that I mean in 2023.
Well, that's what it should have been from the get-go.
That's what it will be. This is the get-go. There is no other one we're not talking about.
I mean, the only thing is, I'm very, very curious on to see how it looks. And, obviously, the creative team will be the best choice, the original creative team to bring them in.
Of course.
But, from, I hate to bring it up, but from what we saw at the attempt of what they did last time, I'm just
the Shyamalan project,
yes,
that thing that he put out there.
Yes.
He put it on the internet for free. Yeah. That absolutely nobody paid for. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so hesitant. So I want it, if everything is done right, I want the research for the bending, the fighting styles, we into it.
You know what? Don't be hesitant at this point, because this is a gang who learned from someone's past mistakes, right? They looked at his project and were like, that's not how it's done, and so it's not going to be that way, I believe.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And the other thing they have to get right is they have to make General Ozai intimidating.
Very.
Yeah.
If a child looks at that man, that needs to be the scariest man.
He needs to be, feared.
Because this is a 10-year-old boy that gets unfrozen in the ice that happens to be the Avatar, and he goes to fight the scariest man alive. I think we could skip over the hallucination scenes that they have in the seasons, though, unless you wanted to Willy Wonka some children for this generation. But that's
I mean,
some of the spirit world stuff in The Last Airbender was absolutely terrifying.
Some of the hallucinations they go on, though, like true on hallucinations, we'll just oh look, pretty shiny thing.
I mean,
it was heavy. It was kind of heavy.
I mean, for me though, looking back at it, or for rewatching the animated series, if it wasn't done too menacing, but done okay, it could still be done visually well. That's the thing. So,
oh yeah, totally. It's just that you would have to get the bending right.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
If the bending looks dumb, if the firebenders don't conjure fire and have to basically borrow fire from things.
I spoke of a team before. The same guys who handled the that show there, Into the Badlands. I think they'd be pretty good at coordinating that kind of style. But I mean, there's a lot more options out there as well. I'd like to see it look less Chinese kung fu opera-ish and more seamless, kind of like Avatar bending kung fu.
Yeah, then we can finally put to rest the argument: is Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime? And then we can put an end to that argument.
Yeah.
I think Shino, I think it's your turn.
Oh, I'm going to go in? Okay. I'm just going to get the first one off the bat here because I want to get it out of the way. Reboot, because that needs to be done. With CG done today, everything looks spectacular on screen. I think that is a franchise needing to be returned to. Generally, just that one.
Universal or somebody should take that on. I don't think a kids network should take that on.
Exactly. I agree to that too. It's kind of time to move away from that, that.
Yeah, what the heck is a dot matrix now?
Yeah, right, and go further. There's so much more. And it is you don't even have to go back to the original characters that were there. You could progress in just something new, but in that vein, less of what we got.
Right. It could be it could be the story of say Trojan, a descendant of Hexadecimal.
Right.
And then we have a story. We have a place to start.
We got somewhere to go.
Rooted
exactly.
in the thing we already know.
Exactly.
But you don't need to know it going in.
No, not at all. We can start fresh. You knew of Reboot, but you don't have to know the old stuff of Reboot. I mean, there's no direct connection in a sense, but it's connected. It's the same world, less of a
A
cohesive
spiritual
storyline.
successor, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, short and simple. I mean, if you already know Reboot, you know Reboot, right? There's not really much to go on. I mean, it's not even live action, so I mean, you don't really need to try to cast anybody, but you should get proper voices. You can never get someone to voice Megabyte ever again because that guy passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Tony J. That guy's voice was immaculate. So keep that character nice and buried. He nice and respected. Leave him alone and just do something new.
Right. Excellent.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch my list up a little bit just because of which ones I want to bring up first. But I'll mention the next one as Ruby, the anime series. Yeah.
Okay.
So reason why, because I was thinking about it, and with how the weapons, kind of weapon physics work, right? From going as a gun and then some sort of like sword or some other type of weapon. Either
The
way,
fist of guns. Let's go.
you have multiple weapons which are still a gun in some sort of sense, and that's like the most unique thing. And so like I was even thinking like what other things you could play around with it, but live action, seeing that like visually or CGI somehow like done, or like even like I guess not animated, but made into an actual weapon would be interesting.
I'd hate to say it, but the one person who'd actually do a really good job visually with that stuff would be Zack Snyder. That's right up his alley.
Ooh, like in what sense?
Have you seen Sucker Punch?
Oh yes.
That's right up his alley, man.
Okay, so then they call up Zack Snyder and be like, hey, let's do something.
No, not write it, but
no, I know, but like direct and help like visually.
Scenes. Yeah, he'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, maybe that he takes his company and like just does it, but he doesn't have the biggest hand in that pot.
No, you're just there to do what you should have been doing all your life. Action sequences.
Yeah,
right.
I almost think that the aesthetic of the weapon transformations in a live action Ruby would have to give you the same kind of visceral, oh my god, you get every time you see a live action Transformer change.
Yeah,
it should be that vibe.
Yeah.
But what I'm not hearing is you would put Michael Bay at the helm.
I would not be doing that because we don't need more things exploding.
Oh, jeez.
And we don't need any more. I'm not gonna get too political on that, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But Michael Bay is not my favorite.
Yeah, but even the great thing about that too, with that series alone, it's like a good controversial like young adult like to adult like type series. So bringing that as a live action,
very much a coming of age tale.
Exactly, and it'd be essentially like perfect to see that be brought up. So I think
I'm really kind of torn on who I want to see in live action more. Is it Yang or is it Crow?
Ooh.
Why not both?
Well, I mean, I better get both. Like, I'm not sure which one I'm more anticipated more for.
She poses a good question there. That's good. Why not both? I agree to both too.
Personally, I'd be most hyped to see Neo. That little ice cream.
I think it'd be really interesting to see the casting for Crow, like the right actor for that. That would be really interesting. That ends for that my part. Table, anything you want to add on?
Well, the next one I've got on here is The Ship Who Sang by Anne McCaffrey.
Okay,
now,
go on.
Admittedly, you've got to get through the blatant ableism that is the premise.
Okay.
But basically, you're in a future society. Some kids are born with pretty massive physical disabilities. Those kids have the option to become spaceships. So they do. And it's just, that book has some incredible visuals, especially when like they go to a world where there's some sort of like weird cult thing going on. Because the book follows one particular brain chip. And as it turns out, the cult is basically based around a brain chip that crashed there and has been transmitting stuff on weird wavelengths. And it's just very, very cool. It would be so pretty.
Backwards?
They play a lot of things backwards. Well, and forward. Because that's the whole point, right? That these ships are also people, but not everyone treats them like people. And they're not necessarily socialized like people the way normal people are. And like the premise is pretty heavily steeped in ableism, so that's not great, but it'd be pretty.
But I mean, it's probably a good place to land that is the same people that did like Percy Jackson and the Maze Runner and Insurgents, the same teams that do all of those. That sounds right up their alley.
Yeah, that'd be the kind of thing they do. And it's a part of a series theoretically, but you can definitely just do it as a one-off, and we don't have to get things like the Sea of Monsters movie, which was terrible and I hated it. And on that tangential note, I think that brings us to Red, yeah?
Yes. So everybody's just gonna have to strap in for this one. This one has a lot of caveats.
Okay.
So Boom Studios does the Power Rangers comics.
Yes.
Now, one might argue that Power Rangers already is live action. I can't do that.
Right.
To which you would be correct.
Yeah.
However, there was a crossover comic with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. But you see, that kind of happened
And
too.
also has a live action.
Yeah.
And they even met in live action.
Yes.
In Power Rangers in Space.
Yes. Go on.
However, these are different turtles with different rangers doing completely different things. And there's no Venus.
Thank you.
So
I
think I get a pass.
There just have to be two
shows up.
Two completely separate things of ninjas and rangers, that the ninjas happen to be turtles and the rangers happen to be powerful, but like not the same ones.
Right. So it's the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers mixed with the one of the animated series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or I think it's the same Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that met Batman.
Okay, yeah, okay, the new Nickelodeon ones.
Yeah, okay. But not like the freakish monster ones, just the ones,
okay,
the blocky ones.
Okay.
We'll be having that conversation.
Are you talking about the early 2000s series?
No, the one, so not Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
right?
Before that on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I know the kind of blocky ones, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they met the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in this crossover series.
Okay.
And they got to hold the power coins and morph.
Okay.
And Shredder gets to pick up spoilers, gets to pick up the green dagger and the dragon coin.
Dragon flute.
He gets to moin. And so now you have the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers morphed. Some of them are just straight like colored ninjas as opposed to their
Power
Super
suits.
Sentai counterpart.
Yeah.
Super Sentai counterparts.
Yeah.
And some of the turtles get to have control over the Zords.
The power grid. Okay.
Yeah. So I just want all of these things. There's just so many. And you want that as a movie, or you want that as a series? Short-lived series? Yeah, probably a series would be better.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking that to take the same idea as the 2017 Power Rangers movie, not the same cast, because
right.
Take a different cast, we strap it to Mighty Morphin as close as we can, and then we move on with our lives.
Okay.
I don't want to mess with it too much because it's too much, and I'm already straining this pick already. So I think I'll kick it over to Shino.
All right. My next pick is probably one you've never heard of. It was a short-lived comic series. It lasted a couple of years. Came from a short-lived comic brand called CrossGen Comics. I'm thinking maybe early 2000s for that matter. One of my favorite titles out of that industry was Scion. It's literally, medieval meets sci-fi fantasy. It's if you took Star Wars and smashed it with Game of Thrones. It's crazy stuff. It's a medieval lifestyle with like advanced technology. They still hold on to the royal family kind of lifestyle. So there's kingdoms, there's dynasties, there's knights, there's all sorts of things going on in there. Really great tale about hierarchy, race, where you stand amongst people. It dives really deep into some themes, while keeping a lot of action there. And the art is by far some of the best art I've ever seen. The only thing that really kind of dragged this one down as a comic series was that the label wasn't really consistent. So shipping and publishing and such was always so sporadic that some people fell off. And then at one point they weren't able to make back what they were putting out there. So they kind of closed shop, but some of their titles were pretty strong, and that was one of them.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that early 2000s comics were worth reading.
Yeah, some things, there was some in there. It was an era where we're still getting over maximum clonage and, red and blue Superman and,
just that.
some of the bad stuff we had there, Chuck Austin writing for X-Men. It wasn't a really good time. It was a really good time.
So,
thank you.
Would this be, you think, a movie, or would you rather a little TV series?
I'd rather a little TV series. I'd
a Watchmen-esque kind of thing, like it only lasts 8 episodes and that's it.
That's it. I'd give it, short seasons like Game of Thrones. Give it like maybe 2 or 3 because there's some stuff in there that was kind of rich. that you could really expand on. But it doesn't have to be like a long-standing 10-year run. Short series. It worked that way much better. Keep it nice and compressed, and it's got an opening, it's got a closing, and that's all you need.
You know what?
Markers of a good story.
We around these parts, we do not discriminate about final endings.
Yeah.
If a show comes to an end and it comes to a natural end,
It's over.
It's
That's
done.
it.
It's fine.
That's it.
We're good.
Yeah. And this one here, it kind of had a beautiful ending where it kind of fast forwarded into time to let you know, because they ran out of time to present the entire storyline to you. So they just gave you a quick, here's the end, and it left you on a real positive note, so that if you ever wanted to go back, you could go back and write more stuff, but you already know the ending as is. So we're good.
So it's like they've given a map for anyone who wants to work with it in the future.
Exactly.
Like they're A to B, but they haven't fleshed out that whole journey.
Exactly.
Neat.
Right. And that's it for me. So back to you, Beastie.
All right. So I'm gonna mention this one specifically for a reason, because like the format I'm thinking of live action wise, I want to see it done with another sort of media format. But this one is gonna be, as we all know it, and we all love it. Not all of us, but most of us. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No, I fight you on this.
No, but there's a reason. Okay, there's a reason why I'm saying this first. Like, because I want to see at least a small attempt. There is a movie.
No.
What? Why?
No. That doesn't exist either.
Oh, we're disregarding that.
Yeah, we're disregarding that hard. Please.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such a hard pass.
Oh man, I sat there for 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Listen, Beastie, like my pick was, TMNT Power Rangers was a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You insulted the man.
Oh my. No, okay.
Go on.
Why don't you?
Because visually that shit is gonna look stupid on screen in live action. I find, right?
It already looks stupid on screen sometimes.
it can only work as a manga anime. It's like Dragon Ball. You can't turn that into live action. It won't.
I disagree.
It wouldn't work. You would disagree. Go on.
I mean, listen, like if we're just gonna go deep into the bottom of the barrel of the things we don't talk about. Dragon Ball Evolution.
Stop this. We don't talk about that either. Stop it.
Oh jeez.
Listen, I think the only way I can insult you more is if I say, okay, let's do Dragon Ball Evolution, a sequel, but only set in GT.
Oh.
Would you bring these curses down upon us?
Yo, I have my opinion on GT.
Red,
that's my opinion. But having that combined, that's
Red. Our friendship is in question now. Don't do this. And you leave JoJo alone.
No, okay. The reason why? No. So here's the reason. Because what they did for live action in the movie that we know about was part 4. Yes,
okay.
Stop this. Was part 4, right? I didn't watch it because I'm not gonna watch it. I already saw trailers. I'm not doing shit with that. What I would be just partially interested in would be like a short story, I guess, or short story version of part 1, maybe part 2. But part 1, it would be the defining thing. I would want to see how they can play with it.
Phantom Blood.
Yes.
The thing is, Phantom Blood can work because Phantom Blood's a bit more simple on the scale of JoJo. So, but you see, the problem is if that blows up, people are gonna want more, and then it leads us to where shit starts looking stupid on screen.
Yeah.
Then you could just do, and this might be spitting in the face of the whole series. You could just give Phantom Blood just more. You could fill in some things. You could flesh it all out in a big series and just make it 2 seasons.
And just feature Jonathan Joestar.
And just do that. And you don't get into the stands and the greater magical elements of the series.
Right.
You stick with just Haman and you leave it alone.
Just the ripple. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have such a learning curve for stands, and if you go that way,
if you stick
with Haman for 2 seasons and then you call the show over,
then
it almost works.
So in that respect, we can go as far as battle tendency then.
Yes,
Probably.
And that's why I mentioned it because if you have battle tendency, since it still deals with Haman, no stands. You're just dealing with cars and those guys. Guys, you're dealing with still supernatural effects, but not to the point where it's spirit essence. It still works visually, and it can still be hopefully executed right. That's the only thing. That's why I didn't mention part 3 or like 4 or anything like that. I just want to see how Phantom Blood
we
and possible Battle Fantasy done.
We could never go part 3 and beyond, man. It just, for me on screen, it just, I don't think it ever work. I mean, shit, that thing that came out, that man.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the thing that came out shouldn't.
Man,
no disrespect, but
the long commercial for the anime,
yeah, exactly. That thing was, god damn it. Like, I wish it didn't happen. That's all I can say to that.
So do I, and I still haven't touched it.
It's as bad as the Attack on Titan movie.
Nope, bad. And with that, we're transferring it over to Taylor.
Yeah, that's for the best. My next one's not actually super specific, but I really, really, really want to see Darkseid on screen, and I want him presented like an eldritch, unknowable monster.
Okay.
Like, think the Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Just this unstoppable thing.
Yeah.
That's how I want to see him presented, but like live action, please.
Right on.
And there's a lot of stories and places you could go with it. I'd kind of rather keep it New Godsy because, you know, they deserve more love anyway.
They do.
Correct.
I'd be willing to see, like, Superman try to duke it out with him. It's just, when you do that, you take away that fear element of it because Superman can punch anything.
Keep it more back to,
can.
you know, Orion and Mr. Miracle and, you know, New Gods. Yeah.
If we're going to do Orion, I really want to do Orion Scooter.
Who would you want to cast as Orion and Darkseid?
I think Orion. I think I'm going to go with... Nope, circle back to me. I'll pull it in a minute. Hang on.
What about you? What about you, lady?
Actually, you know what? For Darkseid, are we gonna pull a Thanos and do a CGI covering?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
It work.
There'd have to be at least some CGI involved. Yeah.
Okay, so actor-wise, I would honestly, unless there's another person I'm trying to think about, but the person that comes to mind first, Andy Serkis. But that's the only thing of
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yes, but if not, voice, I'm thinking of someone else. But I don't know deep tone enough, like, who could pull that off for
Oh my god,
Darkseid.
I've got it. So the voice can be dubbed by James Earl Jones.
I could take it, yeah. I would like that. Yeah, I would like that.
But it's not like he's going to talk much anyway.
Exactly. So which means that who's ever actually in the suit doesn't almost matter.
Just needs to be big.
Now,
see,
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I pitch to you The Rock.
For who? For who?
Darkseid. The Rock can't be
Darkseid.
Darkseid. He can't be Darkseid. No, but like he can't for acting contract reasons because he still does WWE stuff. Sometimes he's not allowed to lose a fight on screen. He can't
because he never loses, and he's this eldritch god that's probably just going to show up for a little while and doesn't lose.
That could work, actually.
It could work.
And you're only kind of paying him. You're not paying him to speak, so you don't have to pay as much, which means it doesn't cost as much, which means you can put more into the CGI and make him actually look good.
I would say CGI. I would put CGI and voice talent to Dave Bautista because he has a voice and he has a stature that could work. For Orion, the only person I'm thinking of, and if you watch Dredd, it'd be Carl Urban.
Ooh, that was a fun movie.
That was a great movie, and I think he'd fit Orion's part the greatest. It's just because Orion never, barely takes his helmet off, and in Dredd,
gotta act with the lower mouth.
Yeah, and he did it so well that I think that'd be the role for him, man.
Yeah, he's done it once. Could pull it off again.
Okay, I got a wild one. Ready? John Leguizamo
for
Orion.
you stop this now.
Can't you imagine? It's the pest. But on a scooter.
No. Oh no. That is not a good idea.
I'll one up you. I want John Leguizamo for Lex Luthor.
You know what? Honestly, no. You know what? Best one, John Leguizamo, is the imp from the Fifth Dimension, whose name I can't pull. Mixes Spitlick.
Oh yeah, that would work. But that would work though.
Right.
That would be great.
I had to drown out my bad decisions with a good decision.
You're like, wait, I got a better one. Here you go.
So while we're talking on bad decisions, MCU's Inhumans.
Yeah.
Are you sure though?
So here's my pitch. There is a book out by Donny Cates. It's called The Death of the Inhumans.
He's a great.
We slaughter them in an M-rated just blood fest.
Yeah, he's a great writer for that stuff.
We just killed them. We just
go full slasher.
Yeah.
Yep. We make it Marvel's first true-on horror movie, like rated R, rated everything. And we just cut their heads off.
And we just leave it as is?
Yeah, and we just killed them. because they're kind of MCU adjacent, kind of.
Ish.
Yeah,
But-
and so we gotta erase some canon here because not everything gets to be
This is
that's
yeah,
true.
fair enough. Fair.
right.
Fair.
This the MCU is
Fair.
it's 23 movies.
And not everything has to
right?
follow
Is
through
the
the comic
the
book,
Netflix
right?
stuff is adjacent. Runaways is
Yeah.
adjacent. Cloak and Dagger is adjacent.
Yeah.
Agents of Shield kind of gets a pass. The
Yeah.
only one that's
Ish.
really, really real is Agent Carter.
Yes, that's the most connected one.
Right. Every
Yeah.
other one is only connected to New York in 2012. So it's
Yeah.
my theory that after 2012, when that happened,
The snap.
the universe no. Like when Tony flew up and flew the bomb there, just
Mhm.
in that Avengers incident,
Yeah.
years before the snap, the time world split.
Okay.
That in one universe we have the Avengers as we continue the MCU, and then in the other universe we have all the Netflix stuff.
Well, I mean,
MTV, if you will.
the multiverse thing is a real thing now. So I mean, yeah.
Right.
So
I
then,
mean,
like,
sort
here's my question then, because like,
Uh-huh.
if per se we go that route of like, yeah, this is what the royal family that would be killed off. It's like
Yep.
the
Yeah.
right. So then,
All the Inhuman royal family that show up in that show gone. Bye.
We don't need them.
so we don't get Black Bolt then.
Nope.
We don't get anything of like who was it? The wife. I don't want to say Medusa because I don't.
Yeah, it's Medusa.
Is it okay? Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
I don't know if that
Medusa
was right.
with the worst CGI hair.
See, oh boy! Oh my God!
My God.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so then who? Because there are technically other Inhumans that are
Right. I
around.
want to slaughter the ones in that movie really
Mhm.
badly.
Damn.
And Donny Cates created this character. His name is Vox. It's kind of like a reverse Black Bolt, and it was originally designed by Alex Ross.
Okay.
What
do
does
you
he
want?
do?
He murders.
Okay.
The
But his-
unfortunate part is Lockjaw also has to go.
See,
The goodest boy.
no,
And I don't want
that's
him to
killing.
go.
No, because
No,
we don't kill
I-
No,
dogs.
I want to put you on this. Lockjaw gets away. He lives his life out with Uatu the Watcher.
No, better. He lives it with Miss Marvel
I can take that too.
Ooh,
and shows up on her show.
you know
I'll
what?
take
Yes,
that too.
I'll
I'll
agree
take
with
that
it.
too.
The Inhumans go, and Lockjaw gets to stay.
Yes.
He's
and
also a
because
great
he can't
character for
talk,
cameos.
he can't talk about what happened.
Someone give me the contract.
Let's
Let's
go.
make this happen. I'm okay with this.
Yes.
He can
Yo,
just
Shane,
literally
your
pop
turn.
in and
One
out
up
of
me.
stuff.
Let's go.
For me here, I have a lot of eclectic tastes here.
Noticed.
But I'm gonna go for something a bit more nostalgia. I don't know if you guys are probably around for this one. It's from my little childhood here, but Disney's Gargoyles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Praying for this for a while. Pitch it,
Yeah.
sir.
Sir, so
Oh,
I
wait,
want
so you're pulling this from the depths of my
Oh,
childhood?
good. Yeah. Listen, you don't understand. I used to run home from school to watch this thing after school, right? I used to chase.
Yo, he didn't
Um,
even take his dinosaur. He ran.
I ran, man. I ran. My little Flintstone car. I didn't bother with it. I ran on foot, man. I love Gargoyles to death, and I believe live action it would be great. You can just keep the simple same voice cast and just have some live action guys CG seat on screen,
Mhm.
whatever motion cap.
Just
bring
get some
back
WWE stars to get all up in black makeup.
exactly. Just do that stupid shit there. Honestly, bring back everybody. Like, you can bring Jonathan Frakes back to actually just be Xanatos on screen instead of just voicing him. All that stuff. Setting wise, as usual, right? Keep it back into New York. In my head, I wish it would happen, but since Disney now owns the Marvel label and Gargoyles are part of New York, I'd really wish they would merge the two worlds kind of together.
Everyone
I
and
mean,
their
what you
mothers
could do,
in New
there's no
York.
reason that you couldn't just like see a spider web that's dangling from a building,
Right? Just
but not see an actor and not see
Yeah.
a suit, and there's
Right.
just a spider web that just like drops from a building
You know what I mean? Just have
or
these
shoots
Gargoyles.
across the screen, and then we move on. We're done.
Right.
We're done.
Just
Haha,
just-
look at that. Haha, and we move on.
Just show me a shot of Xanatos' tower with like the Avengers Tower in the background, or like have the Gargoyles glide by and there's like a "We Love You 3000" poster just in the background, just because,
Yeah,
Right.
little things that aren't going to cost very much.
and that's it. But I
To
mean
ground
that's
it.
but that's the one. If there's any one Disney label like IP, I want them to ever turn live action. That's the one.
Sold.
I mean,
Write
honestly,
this man a
yes.
check.
Yeah. Get the bill and get the contract. Let's get going.
Like don't do it as a series.
Mhm.
Because that show, like the real narrative only happened, I think, in the final season where like, Goliath and what's her name again, the cop. I can't remember her name for the life of me right now, but they were kind of taken away from the rest of the group,
Mm-hmm.
and there was two storylines going on. The group had to deal with what was going on in New York, while Goliath and the rest were on a separate adventure, traveling the world trying to get back to New York in time. You could literally present that as like a couple of like chunks, movies in chunks,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and present as like trilogy, whatever, quadrilogy, whatever you want, and then that's it.
Okay.
So I got a question. So there is
Yeah.
a banned episode or an altered episode
Yeah.
of Gargoyles that features the gun. How do you play
Yes.
it? Do you play it straight?
We bring it back to reality here. I know they did such and such because, back then TV concerns were a bit more tighter, especially with parents. But now, I mean, we live in a day and age where, kids have become more desensitized to that, I want to say. And so,
Yeah, I mean, we literally saw people like disintegrate on screen,
right. So I think that alone,
and it made $1 bajillion. So
yeah, we could touch on that. For me, it wasn't a shocking episode, right? Like it's something else because, it's gun violence, right? And it's very, very
near and
real.
dear thing for
Yeah,
people's hearts.
yeah, it's a real subject. So for it to be banned was kind of silly, but I mean, we've grown beyond that now, right? Like, there's been some crazy stuff we've seen in the news, especially with gun violence, and so kids should be more aware of it now. And I think the episode passes the bill. So I mean, why not?
Good to hear. Write this man a check.
Thanks. All right, right on to you, Beastie.
All right, brings it back to me. Okay, so basically, I had mentioned JoJo's Bizarre, obviously, in the sense of like aspect. The reason I brought that up because the animation or the manga too, the portion of how it's broken down is in 2 parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one idea I had for that format to go with this next one I'm going to talk about is Borderlands.
I could deal with that,
and it would work really well too. That's the thing, because essentially how the games work, essentially it can still be broken down into like parts or like different even series per se, right?
Yeah.
Movie wise, I feel like maybe it could be done just like it'd be simple down. You just like take some portions of like side missions and take them out, but put the main part story.
I went up you on this. I say just make the whole series called Tales of the Borderlands and just present
That already exists.
But like a whole anthology of stories under that label as a whole show.
Okay,
My
I went up you there. Everything is narrated by Claptrap.
I can take that too.
Okay.
Painful. But my issue is you risk the tone if you switch to live action. Borderlands is wacky. That's, the point. The comedy is incredibly important.
Mm-hmm.
And without the right creative team on a live action version, it's just going to spill into hyper violent nonsense,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would have to be really carefully managed.
And that's the thing, because like especially for what is it? I think the pre-sequel, which is like kind of the beginning where I think you kind of meet Handsome Jack beforehand and all that stuff. And especially with Borderlands 1, the origins of that and like the comedy, or as mentioned by Table, the comedy and different tones that are put into different parts needs to be done really well. So yeah, I would want to see it done again, but I want to see it written well too. So not like gonna bring it to in the comedic table, be like, okay, so we need some writers. Who can we get? And you get freaking Big Bang Theory team. Like I don't want that. That's not it. Because like you needed to make
because
it right.
we don't need a fucking canned audience.
Exactly.
No. But even like in fight scenes and stuff, how that gets done will be a big deal because it's the whole point is that everything explodes and you shoot all your problems.
Yeah.
That's Borderlands. But if the violence doesn't feel right, it'll just be another gritty reboot rather than an actual representation of it.
Right.
So I would really want a good fight choreographer on that.
Yeah.
And they're harder to come by, but like, what's his name there? Ray Park is a great stunt choreographer. That same dude that was into the Badlands, he's a great choreographer too. There's a couple of guys in Hollywood who really would do a good job with that kind of stuff. I'd also want to petition the stunt team that was part of the what's that movie called again? District 13.
Oh yeah.
Okay, those guys are incredible. They'd be great for that kind of style too.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's totally doable. I'm just suspicious and scared.
Yeah,
and you should be. You should be.
But like the thing is too with it, like story wise, like it'd be really good to be seen on screen though, whether it's movie or TV. Obviously, TV would be a bit better because it could be dived into a lot more in a sense. And like with per se the DLC of some of the games, that could be mentioned as like a certain side arc or mini arc too.
Right
so
on.
You have things to pick and choose or kind of like pull off and then kind of bring it to like the front table of like seeing like, hey, we have all this like content you can do a lot with it.
I mean, hey, if we're gonna do a TV studio, give it to HBO. If you're gonna go with movie studio, give it to E1. I think E1 would probably take care of that little bit, that little gem.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a really interesting take on that. In a
Yeah.
sense, like again, like I said, just in the format of doing it like how Iraqi does it for JoJo, just do it in different parts. So you would essentially, I guess, the first game or the pre-sequel would be like part 1 of like talk about how everything got put together and all this stuff,
right?
And then break it down to each different parts up into the recent like game per se, and all that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it'd be interesting, and then with the game being as popular as it is, as it continues on, it gets a live action portion later on. So yeah, it works in my opinion. And then table.
Honestly, my next pick is also a video game, so that's kind of fun. I went with Dishonored, the first one.
Okay.
Because the second one would also
write
be
her a check. Let's go.
movieable, but the first one is just such a beautifully self-contained story in a wonderful world, and the action would be like you'd probably want to pull it as a mid-chaos run rather than low chaos because that takes too long, and high chaos because that's just 10 times scarier.
Right.
But a good mid-chaos run would probably be just super fun to watch, enough fighting to be intriguing, but enough sneaky, stealthy sections that you get the sense that, this Corvo does actually care about the world.
Right.
My only caveat, he still can't talk. He's not allowed.
Silent protag.
I love silent protagonists.
You know why that
on my entire
my
heart.
list, and I can't wait for me to bring it up.
But the work that goes into making a silent protagonist lovable and relatable is so much more interesting than quippy dialogue every 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds, this is right. To do a silent protag right, you have to be a really skilled writer to present that.
Skilled writer and skilled actor.
Yeah, exactly. A silent protag who could evoke emotion on screen without even saying a word it's a talented written script, and that's a talented actor to be able to do that. So that'd be very interesting to see done. I haven't seen a silent protag in forever, to be honest with you. So that'd be a welcome change.
The only one that springs to mind is Hardcore Henry.
Yeah,
which I love that movie, but I don't think we should have first-person movies.
No.
It was a super cool exploration of doing that, but we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it was a good idea to have like a 2-hour movie on a GoPro.
Yeah.
Right.
Neat as hell. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, no.
No, wait. If you're gonna do it again, do Crank 3.
I was never a big fan of Crank or Crank 2, but Crank 3 in that kind of perspective would be.
It's the only movie franchise that works.
Yeah, it would work for that. Yeah, agreed.
I guess it's my turn
me.
again.
So yeah, Fred.
So Beastie Boy here is gonna have to strap in for this one.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, Fairy Tale, the anime.
Okay.
But here we go. My test run is instead of doing just like the series or doing like the first arc with people's past, we do the Phoenix Princess movie.
Phoenix Princess movie.
Right. So it is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a self-enclosed story and pays no relation to the anime, if we fuck it up, we don't got to worry about it.
But sir, my question to you is, what about new fans who are just going to jump in and they have no idea who any of these people are? Yeah, but see, he said Phantom Blood, which is part 1, which pretty much starts you the journey.
Right. We could take the beginning a little bit. We could take how Lucy joins Fairy Tale.
Okay.
And then jump into the Princess movie as the first arc per se.
So take the origin
that she goes on.
So take the origin and switch it in and mesh it into that movie is what you're saying. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And as they're on the train and going to the Magnolia, it stops in Mongolia or whatever, and our other cast of characters get on and we get introduced to them, and then we go to the Phoenix Princess movie and we have all the characters. We have we have
like episode 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, now the only thing is, I don't know if I've seen this movie, so that's the only hard thing to remember, if I've seen it or not.
All right, so Red, give a description.
Mm-hmm.
So the Phoenix Princess movie is, hang on, I don't have it all memorized, so I gotta
pull it up. No problem.
Yep. Somebody ban.
So Fairy Tale. See, my thing is with anime is that anime is so large in scope that turning it live action seems to be almost undoable.
Also bound by its style.
Yeah, that's another factor too. And so I think that it can never really translate too well. I'd like to see it done, but like some of the things that they've tried to touch on haven't translated too well over the years. So for me, animation like is one of those genres that shouldn't be touched.
Did
Or
either of you ever watch the Full Metal Alchemist live action thing that got
Yep,
filmed out?
I did, and I seen the Bleach one as well.
Ooh, no, did you touch that? I'm surprised.
I did, and you
You
know
watched
what?
Bleach on screen and then you watched it go into your eyeballs?
Oh no.
Wow.
And you know what? The only thing about the Bleach movie was that visually the stuff kind of held up, but like again, that it's too rushed. It's too much to put into one movie. Anime for me just doesn't work.
So the Phoenix Princess movie is when Lucy, our main character is Lucy Harpy, like the constellation wizard.
Mhm.
She summons she summons Ares and the Gemini twins, and
Right.
like she does, she summons constellations, but they physically manifest as like humanoid versions of the creatures that they're based on. Right? Ursa Major would be a bear man.
Right.
So Lucy runs into Eclair, which is the main priestess, the titular princess from the movie.
Yeah.
And wants to take her home because she's lost and has amnesia. And then we find out that she's got half of this mysterious stone, and then the cast of characters get on the train, and then we go do, oh look, this is where the mysterious stone takes us. Now it starts to glow. Now the memories come back. And then we can get characters. We can get Natsu and Gray and Urza and Wendy and Carla. And we don't have to give everybody a backstory because it's not what we're shooting for. We're shooting for a one-off live-action adventure riff on the movie.
So something for people who are already fans.
Right.
Okay.
I would never, Fairy Tail is so, there's too many different kinds of magic to get somebody new into the series properly.
So it would be for the main fans.
It would be a live action thing just for fans. If you don't know it, sucks.
Yeah, I see that possibly working. Just again, with the whole discussion that Shino brought up was of anime coming to live action.
It's hard to do, but if the Death Note one, the Attack on Titan one, come at it from the angle of trying to reintroduce the series in a weird way, an adaptation, whereas this is a spin-off all on its own.
No, and of course, I'm saying just an aspect of what was it? Besides the Death Note, I'm not okay. You know what? Let's forget about that one. That's the Full Metal Alchemist. So that I think was a movie, the live action movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On that sense, when I watched it, I was it felt so rushed in some parts, where some things were kind of just put into here and there, and it was done visually it wasn't too bad, but at the same time it was just certain things weren't connecting right.
My dude, they filmed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4.
I know.
Diamond's Unbreakable.
I know.
And put it out.
I know.
Okay? These are the mistakes I'm talking about. We can't do them. We can't.
I know. And that's the only thing. So again, with this concept of how you said putting the origin and then bringing it as with the movie kind of in a sense, blending it, yeah. I think it could work. It would just be, again, as for most of these live actions, it would need to be worked on, touched on really well.
We would actually have to get creative professionals, not ourselves. I mean, we don't want to be in charge of any project. We'd like to be considered, and they take a pitch from us maybe. But we're not screenwriters. We're not professionals.
We're not that in any capacity whatsoever. We are just diehard fans who want to see it done really well.
And or to as well as it can be, if anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that takes us back to Mr. Obscure over here.
Back to me now.
Mr. Weird.
All right. Well, here's another eclectic one for you. It's called Xenozoic Tales. If you've seen the cartoon on TV, it was called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Wow.
Yeah, way back in the day. This one is a person you gotta be into some real comic brands that you never Kitchen Sink Press and such to know what this title is, man.
Kitchen Sink Press.
Yes. This one is an apocalyptic future where dinosaurs have come back. We, as humans, have gone through, I believe, almost all the disasters you could pretty much name, be it war, disease, flood, whatever you name it, it has happened. So we have kind of restarted from scratch. we are now living in a world where we're taking some old vehicles and old machinery and trying to readapt into the world as is.
Mad Maxian.
In Mad Maxian, it's pretty compelling. There are people out there who poach dinosaurs. There are people out there who save them, and there's a group that lives underground that are both man and dinosaur that bridge a connection as to why the dinosaurs came back and where humankind have kind of gone to. The main stars are Jack Tenrick, Hannah Dundee, and Mustafa Cairo. That's your trio. They're freedom fighters, and they kind of stumble upon the mystery that is what the hell happened to the world.
See, I would think the dinosaurs are just mad that we've been using their dead ancestors for fuel for a long time.
And what's funny about that? They're back and alive, and they are still used for fuel, but it's not them.
Like big hamsters?
You have to chase down the dinosaurs and take their shit, because shit is actually fuel.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
For a big hamster will to get a Tyrannosaurus Rex on.
No,
that'd be pretty great. Just a ball, stick them in a hamster ball.
You gotta preserve dinosaurs for fuel. Urine and shit is fuel for all the vehicles out there. Mechanics are actually considered royalty out there because without them, half the stuff that's out there right now would not be able to function. So the main guy, Jack Tenrick, is a mechanic, and there is a ruthless politician who kind of wants to poach all the dinos.
There's still politics?
Oh, there's still politics. Whatever was left behind, the powerful still gathered together and kind of still made a government, even though, and they run things by barter system, trade.
Do they take taxes?
Oh, they take taxes. It's ruthless shit out there. It's really interesting. Do look into it. It's pretty good stuff.
Do they provide public services? What kind of government is this? I have so many questions.
It's more communist than it is democracy. Think of it that way.
Eat the rich.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
definitely intrigued, at least by trying to understand the details of this post-apocalyptic world. So
it's a good read. At one point they stumble upon a child from the old world, kind of, and he has the mystery kind of unlocked, but he doesn't speak. So they're at where I left off. They're trying to teach him to speak again, but both the book and the show ended there. So I'm not too sure. I have to look into it there. I'm pretty sure the creator went back, I think, a few times to kind of type some loose ends, but I don't think he's even finished the entire narrative itself still.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So hopefully one day he does go back, but it's one of those things I'd like to see done in live action, because like we've come through, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, and I think it could, it would work on screen now. So
dinosaurs look good now.
Dinosaurs look good now. All right, now back to you, Beastie.
The last one I have here.
Last one already.
Well, for me, but this is gonna be for my portion because I didn't have really a big list. I think for this one, it's already getting some sort of adaptation, I believe. But when I mention it, you'll probably know what I mean. And it's gonna be Justice League Dark.
So yeah, that's been announced and greenlit.
Yes. So it was by HBO, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be put on their HBO Max platform.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. So that's what it was. So that was like the one I was because I was literally just remembering about like some of the DC animated movies, like things that could be brought into live action or done. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, Justice League Dark would be a perfect one actually, like its own side story in a sense, or like its own separate group. Kind of see, how it's worked on with the casting wise.
Right.
Obviously, the Batman would be always the big who's gonna be this guy, So, but otherwise, the main cast or to see who the cast that he runs with would be interesting. Okay. Constantine would still.
We already know who Constantine is.
Exactly.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. There's nobody changing that guy. If they even recast that, I riot.
I'll slap someone.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but to see possibly who's it? I'm forgetting his name. It's freaking the Casper of the group.
Deadman?
Oh, Deadman.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. Deadman. I for some reason I couldn't remember his name.
You called him
Casper.
He is a ghost, is he not?
He's not friendly.
But he's a ghost.
And he's not friend-shaped.
He's not friend-shaped at all.
But he's still a ghost.
Yo, I am going to use that description of Deadman for the rest of my life.
Yo, so is Danny Phantom, but he's friend-shaped.
Oh.
You broke it. I'm done. No check for you.
He just leaves. It's like, I'm done with this.
You can't leave, Red. You're hosting the call.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, no. But in all seriousness, like seeing casting wise of like who could be Zatanna and then Deadman.
The world is your oyster for all of those.
All of that, yeah. Oh
true.
yeah.
But like, I need opinions on who would be a good like casting for like Deadman himself.
Listen, because you've talked about Justice League Dark. There's only one character I care about resurrecting at this point. The Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And he looked good on screen, so I hope they bring that back and use him again, because that was that was short lived and that was too bad. As for
what you
Deadman,
could do is you could get the person that voices Swamp Thing into this Justice League Dark movie and give him a send up.
You could, yeah, let him go. That'd be nice to kind of tie that up and give a goodbye to him. I love Swampy, so it'd be nice. He keeps getting the shaft, man. Poor guy.
You hate to see it.
I've ever seen.
But yeah, that's something that casting wise I would wanna be intrigued to see.
For Deadman, that'd be interesting. I'm not too sure who you want to pick.
I don't know who I'd want to pick either. That's why I'm curious.
Right?
Like
that's such a character. That's such a
Got it. Nope. Got it. Miles, Galaxy Brain. Ready? Banana.
Go.
Oh my god.
Stop this, man.
No,
Deadman?
listen. Okay, he's already dead. His Batman is no longer in continuity. He's about to get rewritten.
oh.
Stop
So
it,
if you
man.
casted him as the dead dude already,
I
get to
furthermore,
take 3 bites of the apple, not just 2.
I mean, he's gonna be covered in CGI anyway. So
I'd furthermore say I'd say Matt Damon, because Boston Brand is a Boston boy and he has a Boston accent.
You could
and
do
Matt-
that. Yeah,
and Matt Damon-
that's a more intelligent choice, sure.
it's fun, but better.
He's still riding that Ben Affleck train. He's just like, hey,
Yeah, certainly
okay.
more, certainly more intelligent and less fun. But
Or-
Jesus.
Or him or Mark Wahlberg, one of the two.
Oh,
Every time I see Mark Wahlberg in a movie, I get angry for no good reason.
why?
I hate his face. He just looks so smug. I just want to hit him.
Wahlberg, if you're listening to this, she doesn't mean it.
Oh my god.
It's content.
Oh, you know what? Low key,
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Ooh.
He'd
Low
be good.
key.
He'd be good. He'd be really
Ooh.
good.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be really, really, really good. I like that. That's a pretty tough choice.
That was I pulled that out of nowhere too, and I was literally thinking because of I know he had one movie with what's his name?
May I add one to this casting as well?
Mm.
For Jason Blood? May I use Liam Neeson?
Okay, but everybody needs to imagine Liam Neeson only talking in rhyme for an hour and a half.
That's fine by me.
I would scream.
With his accent? Would he was
Because Jason Blood's supposed to be Scottish.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be Arthurian too.
Yeah. So I mean, why not? I'd take it.
That's ugh,
That's the Galaxy Brain
that's almost-
take.
Yeah, that's yeah. Mine
So,
mine
okay.
looks just like a Uranus brain take instead of a Galaxy Brain take now.
So then, okay, but so we since essentially have the cast then, the
Think-
people
think
that
of
we want.
Okay, hold on. Think of Liam Neeson less like Taken, more
Mhm.
like Qui-Gon.
Okay.
I'm sure it'd be tricky to get him to do that role. 'Cause I remember seeing an interview that he tried the whole acting with balls and stuff thing, went interesting, and never wanted to do it again.
Especially imagine you're a casting director. You have to pitch to Liam Neeson. Okay, so this entire character only speaks in rhyme. Here's your script. Go.
But you see, the thing is,
Oh,
you only speak in rhyme when you have to be Etrigan. Other scenes, you're going to be Liam Neeson on screen still as Jason Blood talking normally. That's how that works.
That could work.
Okay. Who's the body of Etrigan?
Oh, we just take any body double with a mocap suit on.
Dave Bautista. Got it. Yeah, let's go.
Sure. Sure.
He's everybody. His body is everybody.
Yes.
We'll just use Brock Lesnar. Who cares? Anybody. Sure.
Yo,
Oh my
honestly, we could
gosh.
take the entire WWE and put them all in a lineup and be like, that one, nah, that one's too skinny.
John-
No, that one.
John Cena for Etrigan's body only.
Undertaker for for Edgar's body.
You don't see him.
John who? Oh man. No, that'd be too wild, man.
He's Galaxy Brain. Who's ready to one up this man?
we've
ahead.
gone straight into like deep space on this.
Oh man. But yeah, that's the end of my point of for Justice League Dark though. So that's
Okay.
what I'd like to see. Like
Okay.
cast wise, like it'd be pretty interesting. Story wise, we understand how that could work. I believe like if done well, you can bring it to the screen. It's just executed right.
It already did well in an animated movie.
Yes.
Exactly.
The script's already written.
Mm-hmm. So if you take some sort of like different like adventure or one of the like stories that they've had, put it there, boom,
Fuck,
it makes
just do it
it's
live
money.
action. Just take the animated one and just do it in live action.
I guess that brings it to table.
Yes, sir. My next one is just I'd love to see that more recent cartoon, Carmen Sandiego, done live action.
You know what?
The aesthetics are great. It'd just be fun. It'd be a good heist movie.
She almost made my list, and in back of my head, I'm like, someone's gonna bring her up regardless. I think so. I'm gonna leave that one alone. But she was on my list.
And like the first season, realistically, if you cut out all of the this is filler because it's a kid show content, you've basically got an hour and a half movie anyway.
I like it. It fits for, like you said, it's a great heist movie. Heist movies really work really well if done really well. San Diego would be in that vein, and that'd be incredible. That's a great pick. I was hoping someone would bring her up.
Like it's nothing fancy, but it would just be fun, and I really want to see that hat.
Who needs who needs a heist movie to have 2 sequels or anything? Can it just come out and be good?
And that's it. Yeah,
it'll just fund a different
all.
Project basically, and nobody gets paid, and we're done with it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to see that happen in live action. Like Carmen Sandiego is one of those franchises that it's too bad it gets slept on a lot. I'm happy they did something new with it recently, and she deserves live action now. So
give it a go.
Oh yeah, what a wholesome pick you had there.
Yeah, which brings us to what I'm assuming is probably a less wholesome pick, Red.
You called me out. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, strap in. So as I was growing up on Teletoon here in Canada, there aired 2 shows. They were done by the same animation house.
Okay.
And initially they only aired in Canada, in France, and
Italy. I know where you're going with this. I
would like to pitch them as the same show, but 2 different seasons.
Do this. Go ahead.
This show I want to call Mystery of Teen Town.
I know where this is going. Go on.
And season 1 is entirely Martin Mystery.
Yeah, I love you.
Oh.
I knew it.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
from the same town or the same city, season 2 is Totally Spies.
I knew it. I felt it.
I die.
Love it. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Get rid of the weird fetish shit that's in there. Yes.
You could cross them over. You could make it a little more
They did
Riverdale if you wanted to.
And they did cross over.
They did exactly once, and I actually had to go deep into the Martin Mystery Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And pull a title that would make sense for the whole show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Mystery of Teen Town.
I want this.
Do I get a check?
Yes,
Here's the
please.
thing. Here's the thing, though. Don't Riverdale it because, my thing is, I don't want to Riverdale it too much. I want it to still have that unique factor of what the shows are.
Like Java
Beastie?
is a caveman.
Beastie, stop.
What? Yes.
Red, shut up and take my money.
I capped it.
It would be hard to get as weird as Riverdale went, because Riverdale should have been normal, and then they made it really not normal.
But
where it's like this mystery stuff isn't supposed to be normal, so it's way safer.
And it's because I have pitched it this way that season 1 is one show and season 2 is a different show with a different feel. If it got greenlit for season 3, guess where we're going right back to?
Back to Martin Mystery, man.
Back to Martin Mystery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could keep digging. There was this other show that I grew up with that was it featured this experiment, this live action scientist. I cannot pull the name. It was also on Teletoon late at night. It had this same sort of feel, but it had live action segments of animals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone pulls it, please, in the comments. Tell me what the heck I was watching as a child. Was I on the wrong channel? I don't know.
God only knows.
But I get a check. Next person.
Yes, right. My next pick. Oh yeah. Well, you know what? We spoke of the Power Rangers. They're already live action, but you know who's not? Voltron, the fucking legendary defender of the goddamn galaxy, and that needs to be live action.
Give me the first arc, and you get a pitch, and you get a check. Go.
Nope. You know what? I was going to present the first arc, so that's the pitch. I want that to be filmed, because they went on for like 7-8 seasons, man. So there's so much.
And only 5 of them are good, which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. But I mean, they went far. And so there's so much you can pluck from that now and just make it to live action. I won't even take long with this one because you already know what Voltron is, right? And so just make that one happen. As for casting, I'd rather a list of talented no names.
Exactly. We pull an Ender's Game out of it.
Yeah, and grow from there. I'd like that. Same way they did with the cast of Power Rangers.
Totally.
Right?
You get one person that has a touch more star power than the other 5.
Yeah.
But just a sprinkle more, you know.
Right,
She was in one
exactly.
thing and people know of her, or she sings, but we didn't know that she could act.
Yeah, there you go, and then just build from there. I think that'd be a great thing to go from. And like CG wise, I mean, shit. Have you seen Pacific Rim? Godzilla,
Go for real.
right? Like it'd work.
They did Power Rangers, for God's sakes.
They did Power Rangers for fucking God's sakes. That's right.
And it was aesthetically pleasing.
Very much.
If nothing else.
Why do you think I phrased it like that?
Right? it'd be a great like laser light show, man. I'd like to see something done in the vein of not too dark but not too bright. You know, a little like Tron Legacy, but not like Tron Legacy. You know? You know what I mean?
A little, but Tron Legacy is a little all over the place, so I don't know what exactly you're pulling from.
I mean, like the look and feel, that tone of like being in the future.
Oh, I see. You want it all neon and dark and blue. Got it. Yeah,
but not too neon and dark and blue. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, but I really wish like when they would do something digital, they wouldn't go too dark. Like the Matrix has a green filter on all the goddamn time, and that's too bad. And like Tron Legacy was all 2 colors, and that sucks too. But I don't want something too bright like the Power Rangers movie. Or like Pacific Rim. It's just, I mean, well, Pacific Rim was kind of the happy balance. It had some dark tones, it had some light tones. So I mean, something in that vein, I would say.
I mean, any visual effect is more effective when you use it sparingly.
Properly, one could say.
One could say.
One should say.
And that's the end of that one. Beastie.
I do not have one to, I guess, add on.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't essentially have another one to like continue on or. Okay. But Table can continue the discussion with this.
My next one was actually just make some sort of obligatory Avatar: The Last Airbender joke. So I'm also out.
Okay, no worries.
You and I think you and I have a couple more.
Yeah, so let's go.
We'll keep it just a couple more.
Yeah, we'll keep it short.
So I guess that makes it my turn since I got past the buck.
Yeah.
Sure.
Batman Beyond.
That's the dream project.
So listen, I don't want all of Batman Beyond.
No.
There's a lot there.
All I want him to fight Ink.
I want this too.
I want it on screen.
Yeah.
And I want the Shocky girl too. And that's it. I almost don't care who plays Terry, but
do we discount Blight as the origin villain?
Yeah. Who
We
cares?
can.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she can get kicked to the curb a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's not like
we
Batman
can
Beyond
get the
story's
Scarecrow gang
well-known
back.
enough.
We can get the Joker gang-ish back.
Okay.
And you could get one of the vast people who have voiced Batman, or get Kevin Conroy himself, who showed up and was basically already.
Yeah, I want that.
Crisis.
Either him or Michael Keaton, 1 to 2.
Right, and just get them to show up, and they don't have to show up all the time because they're just on a screen or
That's right.
in somebody's ear. They could literally phone it in.
Yes.
Like I don't need the whole thing because
You don't need to be
that
wearing
suit
pants
live
for that
action
role.
is too skin tight.
Yes.
It might be a little too weird if, say, the movie was 2.5 hours. So right in around 1.5 hours, 2 hours mark.
But you know what? I would like to have it 2 hours and have that in a futuristic film noir kind of feel.
Totally.
Batman Beyond would work as a 2 hour long film.
Yes and no.
It could, but
it's got a lot of bits that need. I think my main problem with like when I watch Batman Beyond, just because it really reeks of its animation style.
Yes, yeah.
And so I need a transformation of it because it's a lot of flick the light 2 different colors and make it look like they're partying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You also risk running into stuff that, like in an animated series, look at this visual, but in a movie would just be like, yes, we pad once more.
Yeah.
True. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, Shino, you got one more?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna just bring out the big ones now.
Yep.
I'm gonna start with the low one on the big ones here, but Castlevania.
I'm in for some Castlevania. I don't care how you do it.
I would be
You
down.
get a check.
Thank you.
I'm not sure it'll be good, but I'm down.
You know what?
You know what? At this point in time, it can just come out and it can make more money than it made to cost, and that's it. That's all it needs.
You
Listen,
want to rework that sentence?
No.
it can be done. I think it can be done really well. I mean, you don't even have to follow through with what Netflix did. You could do something as a complete different narrative and take your, have your own take on it, but live action, right?
There's a massive cast.
It's a massive cast.
I've got a big question though.
Yeah.
Which Belmont?
There's so many.
There's
but
so many.
what if you did Sonya?
To switch it up. You know what? But I want to do. See, the thing is here, I would do generational though, right? Chapter one would be, would be Trevor, and then chapter 2 would be Simon, and chapter 3 we go down the descendant list as time progresses.
Your perspectives are so shaped by JoJo.
I was about to say, I was like, are we JoJoing this list?
But that's the only thing and because Castlevania already did it as such, I mean, it's the only way it would work, right?
Yeah, it just looks JoJo because we said JoJo earlier, but if we said Castlevania first,
it'd be yeah.
But yeah.
Right?
No, honestly, either way, if you mentioned it first, I still would have I can still see it as JoJo format too, in a sense. But yeah, I get what you're saying though, with that take on that. Because it could work essentially, generational, and then you have the different protagonists come in.
Because I mean,
because they actually don't meet each other, unlike JoJo.
Right, exactly. And I mean, fuck, for the love of God, Dracula never stays dead. So I mean, he comes back. And he comes back every time. So I mean, it works for every generation. And switching up the main star would be, very JoJo-esque, but I mean, it'd be fun.
Yeah, Altered Carbon does that right now.
It would be like JoJo if they succeeded at the end of every season.
Yeah.
I will fight you.
Yeah, but she brings up a good point. Not all Belmonts have to win. Yeah. Right? And that makes the story compelling when you continue it in another season. Mm-hmm. Right?
Or you don't, and you're Firefly.
Or yeah.
No.
Sorry, just to actually bring up one point. Since you brought up Castlevania, the add-on from that one I would want to put is Devil May Cry 5. Or Devil May Cry in a sense. But
you see now you sat out, right? Now you can't touch the rest of my list now, okay? Now you stop.
I can't.
Oh.
But that's something I just want to hint at.
Okay, no, because I already have Devil May Cry on my list here.
You sick bastard.
Yeah. And now that you brought it up, I have to speak on it.
But I'm here, I mean.
Yeah, now right here,
Train's already stationed.
Yeah. But Devil May Cry.
Yeah, let's do it.
That was the next one on my list, just Devil May fucking Cry, and it rates itself, man.
Do you imagine a Monster of the Week type show for 12 episodes?
But you know what? I'd rather stay away from that and have it as a standalone couple of films here.
And the funniest part is, on DMC5, if you downloaded it a specific way, you got how they shot it, which is basically a play-by-play on how to do the movie.
Yeah.
They did it with action figures. We can do that on grand scale.
Yep.
Well, that's also an interesting thing with a lot of video games these days, because mocap's being worked into them so heavily for a lot of stuff. They're basically a step down from a movie themselves.
That's basically it. So I like to see that done. And you just follow through the storyline, man. I mean, Devil May DMC 1 through 5 writes itself.
Truly.
Exactly.
So, and even if it only gets 2 out of 5 seasons, all of them are still going to be good.
And that's the key. That's
all you need. If we just have 3 more that just never make it, they're still all going to be good in their own right.
In their own right, exactly. All right, go on, Red.
One more.
Go ahead.
So my last one, Metroid.
I want that too. That'd be excellent.
And what I want,
I have to look at a live action Samus. I might actually die of gay.
Oh, I mean,
listen, okay. And I don't want other M. Jesus Christ.
I think you broke Shino.
Oh, my ribs hurt, man.
You will have to look at a live action Samus. You might not have to look at a live action Zero Suit Samus.
Oh man!
Until she
think I can't be gay for the power suit? Are you kidding me? Have you seen that?
Jesus.
I mean, she has to take her helmet off at the end of the movie.
I'll die. You're going to kill me, Red. But it'll be worth it.
So the game in specific that I want done.
I'm crying. Stop.
Because the rest of them are already movies. Like Other M's already a movie. Corruption already a movie.
Yeah.
Samus Returns.
Yeah.
And the last episode is literally an on-screen clock going backwards.
That could
and
be
it's
so
Tomb
cool.
Raider on steroids.
You sir, that's some madness right there. But I want it.
I want it very badly.
I want that.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about how badly you want.
You can shut your face.
Oh man.
All right. I got just last 2 for me.
Yep.
And I'll put them in one
quick succession here.
Yeah. So the one I want, Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Just because I want that to happen. That's been a movie.
It already is. It's basically already it writes itself.
Yeah, I want that as a movie. And my other one, and come on, I'm surprised that nobody said it. In itself is a whole series, but God of War, guys.
Okay, but like, are we talking latest God
Boy?
of War? Or are we going all the way back to like
One.
the angriest man alive,
No,
or dead sometimes?
we speak of the angriest man alive, but
Mhm.
we don't focus on that anymore. We give some highlights to his past, just like the latest God of War, but we don't have to film it.
I got it. It's basically like God of War 3.75. We go
Wow.
into the way 4 is, and we make reference to the previous,
Uh-huh.
but it's almost a prequel to 4.
How you get into it? Oh, that would be cool
Yes.
because there's so much ground to cover there.
There's a lot
Exactly.
of ground to cover. Yes.
I was about to say
yes.
because like the way you kind of put
But
that
it
up.
can't be directly afterwards because spoilers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it has to be sometime later.
It's
And then
that time frame in between, just like how Star Wars has it. You have that time frame in between, Return and friggin' Force Awakens. There's so much you can do in that window, like the
Okay.
so much
Mandalorian.
they're already doing.
Right.
Okay.
It's a money back.
So you treat it like that. After 3, there's a gap of time between that and God of War. We play
Mhm.
on that.
Yeah. No, it could work.
That'd
That's
be so nice.
that's a brilliant pick. I'm actually also surprised nobody picked it.
That would be
I've
so
got
nice.
one quick mention.
Yeah.
Portal.
I would like that too. And if I'm gonna one up in that Half-Life because it's a shared world.
Silent protagonists. If
Yep.
I have to hear Gordon Freeman or Chell speak, I'll die.
Oh, just die regularly, not die of gay, right?
No, normal die.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Oh.
Natural causes this time.
yeah.
Oh man.
In that styling, right? Like Immortals 300, that gritty sword and sandal kind of like look.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would work. It would work. So, and that was gonna be my final note on that.
Okay.
And I think that brings us to another end of an issue.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, tune in next
Beastie
time.
Boy, tell us where they can find us.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus.
Go
Just
ahead.
right in there.
Yeah, do it, man.
You know what? Don't attack me.
Yeah, what's our Twitter?
Show us how it's done.
Oh my god. Just jump on me like Jesus.
Come on.
Okay, so where everybody can find us is on our main site for the time being, which is Buzzsprout. You can watch or download the episodes from there. If anything, you can catch us on our social media, which is Instagram Nerd Crusade, Twitter Crusade Nerd, or on your YouTube channel, which is Nerd Crusade. You can catch us all there for visual or YouTube, MP3 downloads. And yeah, wherever you can listen to us, just find from there and share with your friends.
Right on. And with
Thanks for
that,
listening.
that's to be continued.